for a few years now, and I'm one of the harness designers for Supair since 2 years now. And welcome with us today.
So the live is gonna last about 20 minutes. We're gonna try to help you with some tips and advice to adjust your harness. So we've decided that we're gonna talk to you about two different Supair harnesses. First of all, we're gonna talk to you about the Pixair 2, which is a progression harness with a seat plate and airbag protector. So it's quite a standard harness with standard adjustment. So we're going to start with this. Afterward, we're going to tell you about the D-Lite 3, which is a pod harness. And we're going to tell you more tips about how to adjust the pod, how to adjust the inclination, the length, and everything. And after all, at the end, we try to answer most of your questions if you have some. So we first go ahead with Pixair 2, D-Lite 3, and then we try to answer your question. If you have any question, feel free to send them on the comment on YouTube, please, and we will read them and try to answer them. So first of all, it's really important before you start to adjust your harness to have a proper harness holder. So here today we have a kind of professional harness holder, so it's going to be easy for us. But most of the time, I know that when we do adjust our harness at home, we do it with a rope, chute risers, or whatever. And it's important that the two webbing are really with an angle. They must not be vertical, otherwise you don't get the waist strap adjustment. So it's not representative of what it will be in the air. So it's really important that they are not straight vertical and that they come with an angle, like your risers on your glider. Secondly, it's really basic tip, but still, it's very important that you adjust your harness exactly in the same, with the same clothes that you're going to use when you're going to be flying. This means you have to adjust your harness using the same shoes for a pod and the same jacket and whatever than you will be using for flying. So you have exactly the same feeling and the same position and the same comfort than in the air. To conclude, you also should pack your glider backpack inside the harness. If you are flying with ballast, you can put the ballast inside the harness before you adjust it, and then you will be in a real flight configuration to adjust your harness. So let's start with the Pixair 2. Yoann, can you tell us about the Pixair 2, please?
Yeah, so we will start with the Pixair 2. This is a seat position harness. First of all, the first step is to put all the bag and the accessories behind in the pocket of the harness. Why? Because if you don't put the bag for the setting and you fly with the bag inside in real condition, you will move a bit the gravity center of the harness, and it can change a bit the feeling and the comfort during flight. So first of all, the first step to do is to release the shoulder setting in order to have a large range of setting. After we can test with a pilot. Up. Yeah. Don't forget to put your jacket, all the jacket you use in flight, for sure. Because if you are if you do all the settings with a t-shirt and after you will fly with a big jacket, you will be a bit too big for the setting of the harness. So the first step is to attach all automatic buckles. Why? Because it's very important for the feeling and for the setting. That's why, in order to adjust the chest strap, for example, you have to close all the buckles. Okay. So now, when you are okay with the buckles, and we will adjust the shoulder strap in order to have the place to put one hand between the knee and between the hand of the seat. this setting is very important because it helps you to pass by a stand or seat position during the takeoff or during the launch. So now where we are okay, we can adjust also the small strap here in order to avoid the shoulder move on the arm. Okay, so we can set it a bit like that, and now we can start with the leg strap setting. So it's very important to put one hand between the webbing and your leg and to adjust the setting. It's very important because if you release too much the leg strap, you will be too low compared to the seat. If you pull hard on the webbing, okay, it will be easy to go in sitting position, but it will be difficult to run during the takeoff. So we put one hand and we adjust the webbing. So now we can sit on this one. So when you are on the bench, the first step is to adjust the lateral setting in order to have the good position for the back. If you want to be a bit like that, you have to release a bit the setting. If you want to be in better sitting position, you have to pull. This setting is you have to adjust also some lumbar setting if you have, okay, for the tilt setting for the plate if you have also, in order to have the better position for comfort and for the optimization of fly feeling. After that, we can pass to the shoulder setting, okay? In order, you have to have enough place to put the arm in the air, okay, and not hurt you. This one is pretty okay. So now we will talk about the chest strap setting. So the chest strap setting is very important for the stability of the harness. You can adjust the stability of the harness by pulling or releasing the strap. Normally, if you weight less than 50 kilo, you have to set the chest strap at 38 centimeters. If you are between 50 and 80 kilograms, you have to be at 42. And if you are more than 80 kilograms, you need to be at 46 centimeters. Okay, for the measurement, it's really easy. You can take this one and you put between the carabiners. So you have to start between one carabiners and to end on the other one. So here we have 43 centimeters. So it's quite okay. We can up. So if you are in the tricky condition in flight, you can adjust a bit the chest strap in order to move and to change the stability of the harness. So now we'll talk about some auxiliary setting. So on, for example, on the Afro 4, you have a setting for the tilt of the seat. For the Altirondo 3, you have a setting for the orientation of the seat board. And here you have the foot holder. So you can test it on the Pixair 2. So the foot holder, it's quite easy to use, but be careful. If you release too much the footrest, sorry, you will bend a bit in the front. But if you pull too hard on the footrest, you will bend on the back. So you have to adjust the leg strap here in order to adjust the gravity center. So now, when you are okay with all the settings, with comfort, we will try some stand up and sit down position to simulate the takeoff and the launch. It's very important to test it before flying. And we can test also the handle for the rescue to test it if with these settings it will be okay to pull the rescue. Okay, so I think it's quite okay for sitting position harness. We will start with the Delight 3, I think, which is a pod harness with a cover leg.
Thank you, Yoann. Thank you for this these details about the Pixair 2. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please put them on the comments on YouTube and we will answer them afterward. So now, as I say, we're going to move to the Delight 3. So for you to know, the Delight 3 is a lightweight cross-country pod in the Supair range. It's a kind of intermediate pod, which means we have lighter pod and we have heavier with more adjustment and more features pod. The Delight 3 is one of our best sellers, but it's a kind of pod which is made for cross-country, I can fly, traveling. It's very polyvalent pod. So Romain is going to talk to us about the features and about how to adjust the Delight 3.
So in order to adjust your pod, Delight 3 pod, the first thing to do is to put all your stuff that you're going to carry before you go to fly and to put it in the bag. So your bag, your compressor, your water, a camel bag, whatsoever, you need to put everything on the bag to be sure that you will have the same weight on the bag as you're going to have it when you're going to fly. Then make sure as well that you are putting your ballast with the good weight in order to have the good place for the weight. Okay. Then one more advice for this harness: try to put your camel bag, try to put the radio as well, and all your instruments on the cockpit in order to be sure that you will be on the bench like the regular condition in flight. So the first thing to do is to release the shoulder straps first, and the side adjustment need to be in the middle. Okay. When this is done, you can put your jacket, all your clothes on, and you can put the harness on. So Yoann is going to help me on that.
So first step.
So first step, you close your leg. Here we don't have leg straps because it's a 2-point harness. But anyway, you close everything but the speed bag because you're going to close it afterward. So first of all, you make sure that the shoulder straps are in the right position to have the end of the seat with 2 or 3 fingers from the knee. Okay, so you can pull it a bit. Then you can go on the bench. It's very important that when you are doing your adjustment on the bench, that you have all your equipment. Okay, so now we are on the bench. We need to do the adjustment for the side holding straps. So here it's on the middle. If you pull too much, the harness going to be too low, to bend forward, and the position will not be good enough. If you release too much, you will be on the stomach muscle, it will not be comfortable, and the harness will be hard to, the control of the wing will be tricky. So we advise to stay on the middle.
Symmetrical, yeah.
Pay attention that all your settings are symmetrical. So you should have the same dimension of the strap on the left and on the right. Then, when you finish with the side inclination setting, you can pull the lumbar a little bit if you want to have your back with more lumbar support or less. It's up to you. Then, then make sure that when you sit in the harness for the shoulder, it's not too tight. You don't need to pull those webbings. It's not going to support the back better. So make sure that when you have the hand up, you don't feel any upward pressure. Okay. Then we can go on the setting of the speed bag. So get inside of the speed bag. You have two settings. The first one is the length of the speed bag. So it's on the side here. If you pull too much, if your setting is too tight, what's going to happen? The line of the flying harness is going to bend backward, and it will not be comfortable flying, and you will not have a good precision. If you release too much, you're going to bend forward, and it will not be efficient neither. So you need to find the right position in order to have the bottom of your feet plate a little bit upper the bumper. When that is done, you need to pull and to set the lower foot plate setting. Here. Here and here. Then the speed bag is set properly. Now you can close the speed bag. So you can adjust it here to have the right inclination of the cockpit. Put the buckle here, and now you are ready to set the chest strap dimension. Okay. So as Yoann told you before, for the dimension below 50 kilos, it should be something around 38, between 50 to 80 kilo, or something about 42, and more than 80 kilo, 46. So here you can do the adjustment, and you can check your right position, taking the center of the carabiners. So here we have 42. We advise to do the setting for the first time at the middle of the range, advised. Then when you go flying, depending on the condition, depending on your feeling, you can pull or release to change a little bit the behavior, to change the stability. Okay, so now we are okay for the setting. We should focus on the speed bag as well, the speed bar, sorry. So it's very important as well that you take your wings risers, you check the dimension, you can put them on the side when you are on the bench, and you need to pay attention for the setting that both sides first are in symmetrical, so they should have the same dimension. And when you are not pulling the speed bar, you should not have any tension on the ropes. Then you can practice to take the rescue handle. It's on the other side, it's okay. And you can try several times to train. Then try to remember that, try to imagine that you are flying, and try your instrument, give a try to every movement that you're going to do when you're going to fly.
For example,
For the takeoff, thank you, Yoann, and for the takeoff, if you want to get inside the harness, it's very important. You don't sit. You want to sit in the harness, so it's more difficult. So when you take off, you run. You are not sit yet. You stand up, and when you took off, go with your feet behind and try to hook the stick bag. Okay. Very important. If you have mountain shoes, pay attention. If you have mountain shoes with hooks, you know the hooks on the side, the hook might spoil or damage the speed bag if you are using that. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you have any questions. Should be
something, Romain. Thank you, Yoann. So we hope it has been helpful for you so far. Now, as I said, we're going to try to answer some of your questions. So, near Evo XA3, on each flight, I feel that it puts pressure on my lower back. Hence, I'm unable to perform long flight and suffer from back pain many days after use. If you'll be able to help, thanks. Okay, let's have a look. Pixair, allez, le Pixair. Tiens. Il y a le Pixair. Derrière. So, here, let's try to have a look. Probably this is due to this lower adjustment on the side. It might be too tight and maybe put too pressure on you on the lower part of your back. This is probably something you need to look for. So to release it completely and then to tighten it slowly and to see where is the pressure point on each side and see if this is helping. Another possibility could be maybe that the sizing of the harness is probably not good for you and then it would be uncomfortable. Just an idea for you. And I think this is it, guys. Maybe you have any other?
Clément, you're right. I think you might try the bigger size because if the harness is too tight for you, too small for you, the webbings are a little bit too low, and to have support, most of the time you pull a little bit and then it makes pressure on the back. So I would advise you to try the bigger size.
So first you try to open a little bit this adjustment, and if it doesn't help, maybe you have a look at the size. We hope it's gonna help you, and you will try it. Another question maybe from Frank, like Tom Gurry asked, how to get the angle of the dangle right, and how to get the right angle of the foot plate. So let's go ahead on the D-Light tree. I guess your question, Frank, was on the D-Light tree. Or let's say, let's have a look at the D-Light tree at least. Okay.
So trying to answer your question, Frank, the first thing to do on the D-Light 3, for instance, is to find the right length for your webbings. And when the length is good enough, then you can change the angle of the plate. This is really up to you, actually. If the plate is too flat, I mean, it's not going to be very comfortable. And on the other way around, the same thing is if the foot plate is too on the front, it will not be comfortable neither. It's really up to you. You can move the lower, you can change the lower setting in order to change the angle, but it's really up to you. Anyway, all the speed bags are very elastic, so it will manage to take in the right position. Okay. But one thing is very important is that the lowest straps are a little bit under tension. because if it's not, you're going to lose the control for the. You're going to lose the control when you are flying.
So we have a question from Julian. I'm currently on the Delay 3 with my shoulder strap at max. When I use my body for turning, I have to extract my internal shoulder. What can I do? So,
at the max. So, do you mean that you have a Delay 3 XL and you are taller than 2.10 meters?
Maybe, Julian, I'm not sure we understood you correctly. You think they are maximum open, your shoulder strap? If they are maximum open, maybe you can open a little bit the breast strap.
Yeah,
exactly. This one. So maybe it will give you more room. So maybe you can try to open this one a bit. And this is going to give you more room. This is maybe one possibility. And if there are max open already, you should have, normally, if the harness is at the right size for you, you should have enough place, let's say enough room to roll into the harness to help the glider to turn. If it's not, this might be that the harness is maybe a little small. I don't know if you mean max open. So first, yeah, let's try to open this a bit to give you more room and see what's happening, and make sure it's fully open. If it's already fully open, maybe it could be the harness is a bit small. Okay, no, normally, according to your size, to your weight, it should be medium size, should fit. So I'm quite surprised that the shoulder are max open and you're still missing some length. It's quite surprising. What you could do, Julian, you could send us a few pics maybe on info@supair.com, and we will have a close look. So do not hesitate to send some pics, and tomorrow we have a look.
Or maybe you can maybe try the L size, because if you have a bigger chest part, maybe the L size will fit you a bit more than the M size.
Yes, it seems, Julian, that you are between two sizes. So the best thing to do is to contact us and we will find a solution for you.
Any other question, maybe? Suzanne, I have pressure on the top of my shoulder on the strike. Which stripe would be best to loosen to help this? So we're gonna, definitely you're gonna need to lose the shoulder strap. So maybe they are too tight. So what you can do on this one, maybe on the strike, is to open the shoulder strap here and maybe to close a little bit the waist strap to make sure that while you are running on takeoff and while you are flying, the shoulder strap are not falling on the side because you're going to lose them.
And if you have the feeling after release the shoulder strap to bend a bit backward, maybe you have to adjust a bit the lateral setting and also the pod setting to have the correct angle for the strike.
So you might need to release a little bit the speed bag to be longer in order to have the inclination a little bit forward, and it will help on your situation, I guess.
Okay, maybe another question. So Tom Gurry, please elaborate more how to not have a fitting leg after flying with the Delay 3. What pressure should be on the legs?
Hi Tom, long time no see. So I'm Clément. Tom, what I suggest is when you adjust your pod, your legs should not be completely tight. You need to keep a little bit of angle on your knee. I don't know if you can see me, but you're probably gonna need to keep a little bit of angle like this, so that if you fly for a long time, then it doesn't hurt. I mean, this is up to everybody. This is our personal situation. But if I fly with completely tight legs for long, then it's very painful for me when I'm landing. So you should keep the knees a little bit bending when you're flying. I hope it helps, Tom.
So we have another one from Frank. Regarding the Delay 3, what is advised for 100% speed bar? Should it be flush with the foot plate?
Oh. Yes, I guess yes. It's no problem if you are touching the plate for the feet when you are 100%. It's all right. It's okay. You just need to be sure that when you are releasing the speed bar, you have no tension on the side of the rope, and that you are able to pull 100%. It's no problem if you go up to the plate. Not a problem.
Actually, if you have to keep long time on the full speed bar, it's good if your speed bar is up to the foot plate. I mean, normally if it's perfectly adjusted on full speed, you're gonna be with tight leg, or you're gonna be your feet inside the foot plate. Otherwise, it's very hard to keep the position a long time. So, Jeremy, hey guys, the advice on setting you give on the delight is valid for a strike as well. Jeremy, good one. The advice are valid. Nevertheless, we don't have so many adjustments on the strike than we have on the delight. As you might know, the strike is a really dedicated harness for hike and fly. It was developed for the Red Bull X-Alps a long time ago, 2015. And therefore, we don't have so many adjustments possible. For instance, on the strike, you only have one adjustment on the length of the pod. You are not able, of the speed bag, you are not able to adjust the angle of the foot plate of the speed bag when you are able to do it on the delight tree. So this is one of the main differences between the strike and the delight tree. So of course, if we look at other pod harness in Supair range, like the Skyper 2, we have some more adjustment possible, which we don't have on the delight tree. So then it's a matter of the category of the harness you've been choosing. But the delight tree, yeah, has some more features which are not possible on the strike.
Yeah, but for sure the process of the setting is the same for all pod harness, for sure, for the shoulder, for the lateral setting. So maybe we have another questions.
Could be the last one.
Okay, playing the precise strike.
So in this situation, I guess that you need to release the speed bag straps in order to bend forward a little bit. If you are too much on the backward, it's not very comfortable. So try maybe first release the straps for the speed bag, and maybe to pull a little bit more the chest on the side.
Yeah, exactly. You have to adjust a bit the angle of the harness.
And something else you can do on the strike, maybe if the pod is a little bit short for you, if the cocoon is the speed bag is a little bit short for you, you can undo the Velcro part below, and you can move it a little bit forward, and then it gives you more place and it makes the pod a little bit longer. So it's just 1 or 2 centimeters, but you see the difference in the feeling is huge. So this is something you cannot see in the user manual, but we know we can do it. So you can move a little bit the speed bag front-wise on the Velcro part below the harness.
So
guys, I think the time is over now. We'd like to thank you for being there today on this live. We hope we're gonna be helpful to you. Feel free to send some more questions on the comments, and we'll try to answer them. By tomorrow. And if you have any suggestion of topics you'd like us to deal with in the next weeks, please mention these topics on the comments, and we try to deal with them. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you very much for coming here. Bye.
Bye.